thank you so much for coming here. I'm so blessed that you blessed our home again in this spot. You know, we've had all sorts of events here, like channelers, and Zen masters, and medicine wheels, and days-long retreats, and all sorts of things. And tonight, I'm really excited about what we're going to talk about tonight. Does anybody remember from the announcement? Raising our frequency,
and
yes.
measuring it.
And measuring it. Yes, you're going to hold me to that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Cool. So, raising our frequency. So, in many of the other sessions that we've talked about at these sits, we've talked about how to raise frequency. How to raise frequency is a certain path. And tonight we're going to put a twist on that path. But to raise frequency, according to Eastern tradition, what we do is meditation. And what is meditation? Meditation, if you look at the word Tibetan, in Tibetan, meditation means, the word for meditation is gam, which means to become familiar with. So what are we becoming familiar with?
Ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So the way to do that is to concentrate. And there's 3 steps according to Eastern philosophy. We concentrate, that's why a lot of meditation is on the breath. We concentrate. Second step, we become aware. And the third step is it leads to unreasonable enjoyment. Enjoyment for no reason. Those are the 3 steps. Now, the first step of concentrating, what we're doing is we're focusing on the breath. So we're going to do that tonight. We're going to focus on the breath. We're going to meditate. And for those who've been sitting with me for a while, you know that I've been teaching. We concentrate, and at the same time, what else? Relax. Relax. So it's not like we do a lot of times in life. Oh, we're concentrated like this. We're concentrated effortlessly. That's the first step. We're just concentrated. We're doing what we're doing, which is watching our breath, and completely relaxed. That's the first step. The second step unfolds from that. So from a single point, we're looking at a single point in the breath. From a single point, what happens is we get over this monkey brain that has us scattered all over the place. Anybody have monkey brain? So we say, let's gather in and just have a single point within ourselves. And this orders the mind. It makes the mind coherent, organized. So what happens from there is now we become aware. And now we could see many points, and we could see things we've never seen before. So that's the second step of awareness. And from the state of awareness, from the state of Zen, which in Japanese means awareness, from the state of dhyana in Sanskrit, from India, meaning awareness, we experience a raise in vibrations, an enormous raise in our frequency, consciousness, and we have feelings, and these feelings are joy and love and caring and who we really are. Anybody has experienced that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, my question is, we've been talking about concentration leading to awareness, leading to these feelings. Why don't we start with the feelings?
I'm in.
Let's start with joy.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Who else is in? Good. Good. Now you notice in a lot of our practices we haven't done that, right? We lead up to that, and joy arises, and it does arise, right? On the retreats and the practice, it does arise. But let's start with the emotion. Now, there's a lot of Eastern practices that do this. So in Buddhism, there's a practice called metta. Metta is loving kindness meditation. We sit, and we did that on the retreat a bit. You sit, send out love. Receive love. Send out love. Receive love. And by the way, when we do that, we're all like tuning forks. Is anybody doing that now? You can actually feel the vibration when this happens. Sending out love. Tibetan practice is from the heart. So tonight we're going to talk about that practice of heart-centered meditation. And what's really fascinating is the scientific community, when they're studying meditation, is very, very focused on heart-centered practices. For instance, there's a company called HeartMath. Anybody heard of that company? HeartMath. They've been studying these practices for decades. And what they have is a bunch of research, a bunch of scientific research saying, wow, the energy going from the brain to the heart, well, the energy going from the heart to the brain is 50 times more than the energy going from the brain to the heart. It's tremendous amounts of energy there. So what they've developed is a bunch of practices that are very similar to some of the Eastern practices of starting with the feeling. So what they've added is, we're still going to focus tonight on the breath. But what they've added is to say, hey, along with the breath, and in my meditation practices, for those of you who are new, usually what I suggest is on the in-breath, concentrate. On the out-breath, relax. Over and over, single point, concentration. But what we're going to add to that is do it with gratitude. Do it with joy. Do it with care. Do it with love. So as we're sitting tonight, we don't really want to go like this. Concentrate. Well, relax. Yeah, relax. Serious, relax. What we really want to do is breathe in. Out. And pick an elevated emotion. Love, gratitude, caring, compassion. Pick an elevated emotion. Can we choose our feelings? Yeah, you just did it, right? So we can choose our feelings. We can raise our frequency. We can raise our vibrations by choosing our feelings. So we can choose to laugh. Right? For no reason. We can choose to send love for no reason. We can choose this. So, as we're sitting, my suggestion to you is, yes, focus, 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 concentrate, relax, and pick an emotion. Actually, HeartMath has come up with a technique that actually incorporates this. It's called the quick coherence technique. They call this, and they actually have many other techniques, and they say there's 3 steps. One is focus, put attention on your heart. And you might even want to touch your heart. It's 3 steps. First step, put attention on your heart. Second step, breathe into your heart. Breathe out of your heart. As if you're not breathing through your nostrils, directly into your heart. Third step, and most important, pick an elevated emotion, a high frequency emotion. Love, gratitude, caring, compassion. Choose one. Which one did you pick?
Gratitude.
Joy. What else?
Grace.
Grace. Good. So just pick an emotion. And the research that HeartMath has done has said, when we do this, when we pick the emotion, it changes the physiology of our heart. What it actually does is it changes something they call heart rate variability. That from heartbeat to heartbeat, the time between these heartbeats vary. And that's a good thing. So the higher our heart rate variability, the higher we're in order. We're in coherence, like a coherent sentence. And there's tons of research. So, Dave, you asked me if I was going to give out information. You can look this up on the web. There's tons of research. They've done all of these studies. As a matter of fact, some of the studies that are really cool, like they did a study where they actually hooked up monitors. They can measure this. So this is a measuring part. They can measure this. And they hooked up a boy and a sweet dog. And they separated the boy and the dog. And at first there's some sadness. And they hook them up to monitors and they say, send out love to your dog. And the boy sends out love to the dog. And they're in separate rooms. And the dog, just like a tuning fork, sends the love back to the boy. And they can measure this. They can measure it. They did other studies with horses and others. Now, we pick emotions. We can pick emotions. But I want to add a twist on that too. How many of you know the story about the black wolf and the white wolf, the Native American Indian story? Do most of you know that story? Anybody not know that? Okay, so half of you know it, half of you don't. Let me tell the story, but with a twist, even for those who know it. So here's how the story goes. There's a reservation a long time ago. Cherokee Native American Indian reservation. And they go through their day. And during that day, there was a big fight between two of the Indians. And at night, the little grandchild goes to the grandfather and says, Grandfather, why do people fight? There's a wise old Cherokee Indian. And the Cherokee Indian says, they fight because we're all fighting on the inside. All of us, right in here. And the fight is between a white wolf and a black wolf. And the white wolf represents love and compassion and care and gratitude and peace. And the black wolf represents anger and hatred and envy and jealousy and fear. And there's a continual fight between this white wolf and black wolf. And we all have it. And the grandchild says, we all have it? The grandfather. Who wins? And for those who know the story, what's the answer?
Whichever wolf you feed.
Whichever wolf you feed. Whichever wolf you feed. Now, many Cherokee Native American Indians have shared that this ending of the story is not the original ending of the story. That the Cherokee story has a different ending. And this was the white version of the story. The Cherokee version is, the grandfather says, they both win. The little kid says, they both win. Grandfather says, yes, they both must win. You need the white wolf and the black wolf. You always need both. The black wolf actually has a lot of positive qualities. Tenacity and courage and determination and competition. We can't take those human aspects of ourselves and just discard them. We need both. And by the way, if you try to discard it and you try to completely negate it, the black wolf will come out with a vengeance and come back. Anybody tried that before? I'm just going to be happy, 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 happy. Every day I'm going to be happy, 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 happy. One of my teachers, John D. Martini, said, you know, I tried it. I actually tried that theory, the positive thinking. Positive thinking, and I tried it for some ridiculous amount of time, like hundreds of days. And he's like, it doesn't work. It actually makes you more miserable. Because we're just looking at one side of things. And in the end, the grandfather says to the grandkid, we cannot look at just one side of things. If we do, we are moving away from our goal, and our goal is peace. To be at peace with both of these. Now, why do I tell the story? Because tonight, when we focus on the meditation, and we focus on this idea of positive attitude, well, it's not a positive attitude, it's we're focused on an elevated emotion, a high frequency emotion. Now, we're sitting, and we might sit for, I don't know, a half hour. Gratitude. My leg hurts. Len said, don't move. Gratitude. And then we said, no, I'm not supposed to think about that. Go away, you're bad. It's all good, or it's all not bad. So just like in our thoughts, in the training in our thoughts, what happens when we're meditating on the thoughts? Some other thoughts happen. We can never push them away. Thoughts and feelings will not be denied. They will not be denied. However, what we can do is realize that we are not these thoughts and feelings. We can observe them. And we could put our attention on what we're focused on. So if you have another feeling, those feelings are not bad. And we must allow those feelings, but not define ourselves by that. So we're not defined by that. In the retreat, we had a whole transformational workshop on who are we? Who are we? We're not our thoughts and feelings, right? Does everybody buy that? You look like you're not sure.
Compilation of our past.
Ah, are we the compilation of our past?
I think so.
Yeah.
What we've been through and what we've experienced and how we're going to apply it going forward.
So this is a deep question. This is another meditative technique we can talk about. Who are we? But we're not our thoughts and feelings. So the practice is we're breathing. Focused on the heart, breathing to the heart. Gratitude. Now, I said we're going to measure it. How can we measure this?
Got me.
Okay? One way is we can look at our feelings. How we actually feel in gratitude. It's one way. Now, there's another way we can measure it. So I have like two different lives that are kind of twisting back and forth. And one of my lives is as a spiritual teacher. And one of my lives is as a data management consultant. So I go around the world as a data management consultant. And I love when they really intersect. And tonight I'm going to show you one major intersection, which is we can measure this with data. We can measure this with software. So this is why I have these screens behind me and the computer screen. We can actually hook ourselves up. And this is what HeartMath does. And this is what Joe Dispenza does. And we can hook ourselves up and measure our heart and our pulse and what's going on in our body. Is that cool?